Hey, what's up guys? Today we're going to be going over the second video in our METT-T series, Analyzing Your Enemy. Like I said in the last video, METT-T is an acronym for the tactical thought process used by commanders and unit leaders to analyze variables when planning a tactical operation. That acronym, METT-T, stands for Mission, Enemy, Terrain, Troops and Fire Support, and Time. This is important because conducting a thorough METT-T provides unit leaders with a framework to evaluate the battle space, assess risk, and identify different courses of action. In our last video, we talked about how to analyze our mission and how breaking down our mission statement can prompt us to start thinking about different considerations that we want to think about when planning the execution of our mission. For today's video, we're going to talk about our enemy, what we need to know about them, and how to analyze them. So when we talk about analyzing our enemy, there's a few things that we want to take into consideration. Composition, disposition, and strength, their capabilities and limitations, their most likely course of action, and how we're going to mitigate their most likely course of action. All of these things fall under the enemy portion of your METT-T analysis. So for composition, disposition, and strength, we're going to use an acronym called SALUTE, which stands for Size, Activity, Location, Unit, Time, and Equipment. This should be information that you already have that you're going to use for the rest of your analysis. If you don't have a full SALUTE report of your enemy, you may want to conduct more thorough reconnaissance before committing forces to that objective. So we're going to go over an example of a SALUTE report, and for this example, we're going to say that our enemy is a World War II German Army rifle squad. For size, we got a squad size element consisting of one squad leader, one assistant patrol leader, one machine gunner, one A gunner, and 5 riflemen. Notice how it doesn't just say a squad size element. It actually breaks it up into the structure of the squad and how many individuals there are. You want to know the actual number of people you're going up against, and it's important to remember that a squad to me might mean 12 people, but to you it might mean 8. That difference of 4 people on the objective can make a big difference. For activity, set into a defense in depth, continuously improving their position with triple strand wire obstacles and landmines. Center grid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oriented south along the highway in a 3 trench system, currently occupying the center trench with their machine gun on the east flank. So this is as in-depth as possible with a heavy emphasis on their current actions. So what are they doing right now? Location. Platoon Objective 2, last seen in only the center trench. This location possibly serves as an early warning for Company Objective Bravo. Time, past 24 hours. So that's how long they've been at this location doing this activity. And equipment. So for equipment, we're going to list out everything they have and their capabilities. Understanding this is going to help us when planning our scheme and maneuver. If I know their ranges of the enemy's weapon systems, I can start thinking about what weapons do I have that can affect them while still remaining outside of the range of their weapons. It also tells me once I'm within this many meters of the objective, I can expect to be getting engaged by this type of weapon system. Next, we're going to talk about our enemy's capabilities and limitations, and for that we're going to use an acronym called DRAW-D: Defend, Reinforce, Attack, Withdraw, and Delay. This is your assessment of the enemy's capabilities to do each of those things based off of what you already know about them. Since this is your own assessment, your DRAW-D and my DRAW-D may not look identical, and that's okay. This framework exists to help us do our own individual assessments. What you want to consider when evaluating your enemy's capes and limbs is their means, motive, and condition for each letter of this acronym. So what means do they have to defend? What motive do they have for defending? And what is their condition to defend? So at what point will they start defending? You want to apply this framework to every letter of DRAW-D. So here's an example of what a DRAW-D may sound like. Enemy is capable of defending with squad organic weapons and machine guns due to their desire to retain their movement corridor, likely to defend upon a squad size element or more within their engagement area. Here we see their means to defend, their motive for defending, and the condition at which I believe they will begin to defend. And like I said, we're going to apply that framework to every letter of the acronym. Next, we're going to write out our MLKILA, or enemy's most likely course of action, which is my assessment of what I think the enemy is going to do based off of everything I already analyzed about their composition, disposition, and strength, and their capabilities and limitations. Some things to consider when writing your ML-COA is the enemy's mission, current actions, schema maneuver, and triggers. Here's an example of what one might sound like. I assess that the enemy will most likely attempt to fix us with their obstacle plan and machine guns, and exploit with indirect fire. Lastly, we're going to write out our mitigation statement. So what is our plan to mitigate the enemy's most likely course of action? Here's an example of what one might sound like. We will avoid the enemy minefield by staying on the east side of the tree line en route to our objective. We will destroy enemy machine guns with HE. We will conduct a deliberate breach of triple strand wire obstacles. So anyways guys, that concludes our second video in the METT-T series. If this was interesting to you, make sure to check out our first video and stay tuned for the next video as we continue breaking this acronym down letter by letter.